My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Fear Street Part 1, 1994. Now, for those who don't know, Fear Street is a trilogy getting made by Netflix. Part 1 released today, Part 2 releases next week, and Part 3 gets released the week after, which is a kind of neat idea and concept, but I don't really think it's getting utilized on a streaming platform. If this was theatrical like it was originally meant to, and it was supposed to be released over 3 consecutive months, that would have been a much better idea to me. This just kind of feels like, oh, it's another Netflix original movie. But I do kind of like what they're going for. This is an R-rated movie based on an R.L. Stine book who did the Goosebumps books. So that's just a curious direction to take it, from a kid's book to an R-rated movie. I find that to be interesting. But is this movie good? It's fine. I don't hate it, but I don't really think it's all that special either. Anyways, Leigh Janiak directed this movie, and she did a fine job. I think the highlights of this movie were definitely the visual style to it. There was some nice usage of colors, even though I wish that carried over into the rest of the movie. It stands out in the first scene and a few other selective scenes, but it's not present throughout the entire movie, and I kind of wish it was, because I just found those moments to be so visually interesting. The cast does a perfectly fine job. I don't think anyone stands out as great, but everyone does a good job as what they're required to do, and I do care about the two main characters. Their relationships I actually did really connect with, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's a good emotional core of the movie. I thought both of the characters were developed enough, and the relationship was too, to the point where you do root for them in this situation. The movie also does build this interesting lore that it does feel kind of generic, a little been there, done that, especially if you've watched a ton of horror movies. But as its own standalone thing, it's not like it's bad or anything. It's trying, and even though it's nothing brand new, I still think it's decent enough. One thing I actually did really like about this movie was that the main characters weren't dumb. They were actually pretty smart. There was one scene where they plan a trap in a bathroom, and I'm just like, oh damn, they're smart, and I like that. I didn't feel like they were just damsels in distress just always running away. Like, yes, they ran away, but they also came up with plans and executed them, and I kind of like that about this movie. But putting that all aside, I didn't find this movie to be all that good. I never found it to be anything special. The movie never scared me once, like in any way. I never got goosebumps. I was never like, oh my god, that's so scary. The movie just never affected me in that manner. The movie's never funny, and even though the main characters were smart, I never found the script to be smart. It's a very straightforward script. It's exactly what you think it is at the beginning of the movie, and at the end of the movie, it's exactly still that. The movie never evolved. I never found it to be smart or really get elevated to greatness. And there's one great kill in this movie where I'm just like, oh, that's gnarly. But that's really it for kills. Like, you know, when you watch a movie like this, you want lots of kills, lots of great, brutal kills. That's why people like the Friday the 13th movies. And you don't really get that here. There's barely any kills. So just as a horror movie, it didn't really succeed for me. I watched it. I don't regret watching it. I think that some people can enjoy this movie, and it is entertaining to a degree, but I wasn't really impressed with this movie. I hope the next 2 movies in this trilogy are better and do a lot more with the genre instead of being a very straightforward, forgettable horror movie. So I'm going to go ahead and give Fear Street Part 1, 1994, that's a long title, a 5.5 out of 10. Okay, did you watch Fear Street Part 1, 1994? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.